All right. Well, let's do so. If you guys are able to turn on your cameras, go for it. If you can't, well, we're glad you're here to listen in. Fantastic. My name is Jonathan Peschke. I'm one of the partners here at Mass Training, along with Mr. Mertens, who may be on here in a few minutes. And up here in my top left is Roman. He probably initiated the conversation with a lot of you guys. He does all of our behind the scenes stuff and has probably as many years doing Taekwondo as just about any school owner out there, which is kind of funny at his relatively young age. But yeah, he's been involved with this forever, growing up and being my son. So, with that being said, I know a lot of you guys are current clients and doing quite well, and some of you guys are brand new. Welcome. Today, we're here to answer any questions you may have, as well as share with you our 7-step enrollment process. Each week, we try to give something of value that people can take and implement. And of course, if they want to learn more and be a part of our training, we have school owners all around the country that vary from what we call a club operator, which means you didn't sign a lease on a brick and mortar building, but you're maybe subletting. Like, for example, Ms. Stevens is subletting inside of a health studio. Ms. Spears is subletting inside of a clogging studio. Ms. Egan is subletting from a yoga studio. These are all what we call club locations. Now, here's the cool thing. All three of these ladies have in common. They're all making about 10 grand a month doing a club scenario 2 days a week without any real overhead and obligation. Now, the next step up from there is a brick and mortar operation. And I know some of you guys that are on this call are in there. You can see that Master Gartland is inside his location right now, and as well as Mr. Brown over here. And a brick and mortar means you signed on the line that is dotted. You committed yourself to hundreds of thousands of dollars in obligations to a landlord, and you've done a build out, I'm sure, and you're in it. Now, the good news of that is you have access to your building all the time, and you can generate real money. I mean, real money. 10 grand a month's a fun start, and if you don't have much overhead, that's $120,000 a year. That's fun. But if you have a brick and mortar location, you should be able to double that quite easily. So, Master Gartland, if you can unmute yourself, I know obviously we go way back now, but introduce me to the gentleman to your left, please.
This is Master Jefferson, our head instructor. He started with me many, many years ago, like nine,
Excellent.
10 years old. And
Holy cow, he doesn't look like he's more than that. What? How do you now? So you look kind of old for someone who's only 18.
Thank you very much. I'm a little bit older, but
So you started when you were 9 years old and been with Master Gartland for a few years.
yes.
Excellent. Well, welcome. Welcome. It's great to meet you. Excellent. You said, and I apologize. Last name again?
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Okay. Very cool. I'm glad you're able to join on this call, because for you guys that do have helpers, staff, having everyone in on it makes it easier and more fun. One thing you'll find about us and our operation is we're very transparent. If I go back to my early martial arts days, back in 1990, everything was very hush hush, and don't tell him this and keep this a secret and all that. Fast forward to today, we're an open book. We got glass doors. We don't even have an office to enroll people in. We do all of our business at the front counter. I mean, we had, in fact, people will sign up on memberships at the front counter. They will prepay memberships at the front counter. They will hand us a credit card and allow us to run it for $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 at the front counter. And it doesn't matter who's around, because everyone has the same opportunity. And our goal is the same for everybody, to reach a higher level of black belt. Earlier, I was on a call today and we talked about how, there's a lot of mega churches out there. Why does everyone, well, heck, doesn't have to be a mega church. If you think about, if you go to church, even if you don't, why is everyone there? Why is everyone going to church? Why? Anyone know? Give me an answer. Shout it out.
Could be for the camaraderie, could be just for the support, for local support.
That's one reason, maybe two actually, but yes. What else? Think bigger. Why would you get out of bed, get dressed, get cleaned up, put on your Sunday best, maybe drag your whole family with you and go to church every Sunday, religiously, no pun intended? Why? Why? What's the big goal? You're right. Community support, socialization. What else? What's the bigger reason? What's the biggest reason? Come on, guys, think. What's the ultimate reason? Because we're all going to die. We're all going to die one day. What's the big reason you go to church?
So you can
Go to
get
heaven?
heaven.
Bingo. Now we got. Now, thank you for playing, gentlemen, to get to heaven. Absolutely. Now, there's
I
a lot
got
of
front row seats in the opposite area.
Well, hey, we can talk about that later. But my point is, the reason why people go to the reason why 20, 30, 40,000 people will show up and go to church on Sunday in one location even is because they have a common goal. They all want to get to heaven. However, they also appreciate all the stuff they get to enjoy while they're here. The friendships, the community support, the what else? Sometimes counseling or help, the socialization, right? Now let's talk about your karate school. And I use karate as a blanket term. Doesn't matter if you teach karate, kung fu, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, it does not matter. But why do people come to your karate school? Why do people come to your karate school? Master Garland, why do people come to your karate school?
Self-improvement.
Okay, but what do they hope to get out of it? Think church.
I don't think they think they're going to become the next Jackie Chan.
No. But would you agree everyone wants to be a black belt?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think there's a student on the planet that didn't sign up thinking, man, I wonder maybe one day I'll be a black belt. How cool would it be if I was a black belt? Heck, we get half of our adults signed up because they thought, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a black belt. Everyone wants, there's not an adult. I think you'd be hard pressed to find an adult anywhere that at some point in their life didn't wish they could learn martial arts. And there's not anyone that ever had a goal of getting yellow belt, guys. Everyone wants to be a black belt. If you didn't already believe that, believe it starting now. Everyone wants to be a black belt. That is the mark of being a martial artist. You know, I run across people even now. I have a shirt on that has our school logo. Like, oh yeah, I used to do martial arts. Really? Did you make black belt? No, I wish my mom wouldn't have let me quit. Okay. You hear that all the time. So just decide right now that you agree everyone wants to be a black belt. So now how do we make that easier? Well, we got to get everyone in our schools marching in the same direction. We got to get everyone in the academy going in. That's why that's why these mega churches are able to build such huge followings. They understand we got to get everyone going in the same direction. Now, there might be maybe some of them want to participate in different aspects of the church, but they all have the ultimate goal. Maybe some of them are missionaries and youth, and there's all these different things, ways you can participate, but they're all looking for the same outcome. Same thing in our school. You might have a basic membership, an upgraded membership, maybe another one on top of that. You might have an ancillary program like Gold Quest or Apprentice or Certified Instructor. There's other things they can do because they're all on their way to black belt. But oftentimes we forget that everyone wants to become a black belt. So we have a room full of people that all are marching in a different direction, or maybe not marching in a direction at all because we haven't helped them set that goal. Think about that. This is why having a month-to-month membership is the absolute worst way to conduct a business. You're actually asking someone to reconsider and recommit every 30 days. Really? I mean, imagine if that was your arrangement with your wife or girlfriend. Hey, babe, I'm going to be loyal to you for the next 30 days, and then we'll reassess it again. Now, that might work one time. But 20 years of that, you will be lonely. Okay? So what's the next step up? Well, the next step up would be a time-based membership. A time-based membership would be like for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 36 months, maybe 60 months. But you're enrolling them for a period of time. And that's better than month to month because you can kick the quit can further down the road. You realize that's what that is, right? Every person you enroll, you're determining their quit date. Let's sign you up for 12 months. Translation, you get to quit in 12 months. I don't want there to be a quit date anywhere in sight. So which leads me to our third option and the best option, which is an outcome-based membership. Outcome-based. So for example, how long should it take someone on average to reach a black belt, a first degree black belt? The first sign, in most styles, the starting line. Now, jiu-jitsu is a bit different, but for most styles, black belt first degree is the starting line, not the finish line in terms of training. So how long do you want it to take? Do you want someone to take to get to the starting line? You know, for us, it's typically about 3 years on average. But everyone's different, and that's okay. You just got to decide for you. What's the starting line? How far out is that? You know, the military takes someone from a knucklehead to a killing machine in what, 16 weeks? You can be an Army Ranger. And yet some of us brag about how you know, well, in my style, it takes 12 years. Okay. So if that's the finish line, that makes sense. So, you know, and I do understand different styles are different, and that's fine. What's the starting line? So I got to get everyone marching in the same direction and outcome based, even if you want to do 12 months. What's the average outcome at 12 months? For us, it's green belt. For you, it's whatever it is. Master Garland, what is it for you?
It would be a blue belt.
Okay,
Just
great.
before green, just before green.
Perfect. Perfect. And see, and it doesn't matter because all of us on this call are going to do things a little bit differently. That's fine. I'm not here to judge or criticize anybody. I'm here to get you to think differently about the way you're conducting the business. I assume everyone on this call is already a badass martial artist and you're really good at that. Perfect. Whatever you do, you love it. I'm all in. Let's fix the business component. So if in 12 months a person is a blue belt under your ranking system, fantastic. Why don't we sell them a program to get to blue belt? Decide how much that program costs. And then it doesn't matter how they pay. They might make 1 payment, 3 payments, 6 payments, 12 payments. I don't know. Let's figure that part out. Does that make sense? So it's like taking one of those prisms and looking through it from a slightly different angle. But where it really matters is black belt. You know, our black belt tuition, what we currently charge is $299 a month based on the average length of time it takes a person to get to bat. And again, I say average length of time it takes for someone to go to black belt. We want them to attend 300 hours of training. That's about 3 years. So 3 years is 36 payments, 36 installments at $299. That's $10,764. Do I really care if it takes them, if you give me $10,764, am I going to be upset if it takes you 2.5 years or 3 years or 3.5 years? Do I really care? See, so many times in our business, we trip over pennies on our way to dollars. Yeah, but I want them to pay for every month they're here. Quit selling your time. Quit trading your time for money. That is a minimum wage mentality. Hey, boss, I'll give you 1 hour. You give me $12. Fair? That's awful. And the worst part is you can never work enough hours in the day to get rich or even have a comfortable lifestyle. So I'm hoping some fireworks are going off. I hope we're getting some aha moments here. So I don't want to trade my time for money. I want to sell outcomes. Now I'm going to price it where I don't care if it takes you a little bit longer or not, because I've already gotten the money out of the way. So again, for example, now we also charge an $800 initial investment. So let's add that plus $800. and it's $11,564. Now, if you do a single installment, we'll give you a discount. We'll help you save 20%, which saves you $2,312. That's a lot of money to save. So that means this membership is going to cost you whatever the math is, 9,000. So let's call it 10 grand. So if you give me $10,000 today, do I care if it takes you a couple extra months to reach black belt? I don't. And if you do, why? Why? I mean, think about this, guys. We got to think bigger. We're in the business of group membership, group lessons. I'm going to teach a class. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how to determine your class capacity and how to adjust your schedule accordingly. And I got to hand it to Mr. Brown up here, man. He's slashed his schedule. And when we talked last week, business has never been better. It's fantastic. I was just on the phone with a group earlier this morning, a client that's in Little Rock, Arkansas. And they just went from 32 classes a week to 10. And things have improved immediately. You know, build it and they will come doesn't work. We provide lessons based on class capacity. And if any of you guys have missed that, you know, reach out and I'll be happy to go over that with you. But let's stay focused. I want to sell an outcome. And it starts with the basic. You know, a person signs up a couple of weeks ago. We talked about how to sell the trial on the phone. And again, any of the stuff I talk about that you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, there's a link in the chat and you can schedule a one-on-one call free of charge. And I'm happy to help you with anything you need. And if you're interested in being a client, great. But it's like pouring kerosene on the fire. But let's stay on track. We have a 7-step enrollment process for the first enrollment. And here, let me screen share this with you guys. You guys can take some notes on this. There we go. And here we go. Now this thing is like the encyclopedia of enrolling somebody, and we have cheat sheets for it. But if something happens and it's like, well, I did the cheat sheet, same thing with the phone dialogue. If you use the short phone dialogue and something didn't go exactly the way you wanted, well, then you refer back to the big manual and you can easily figure out how to fix that. So this is the big book for the 7-step enrollment. You can see here's the 7 steps: the greeting at the front counter, the tour, the instructor or staff introduction. If you're a one-man show, we show you how to do that too. The personal analysis. This is what sells the membership. Your orientation lesson, where I demonstrate how you just told me what you need to see in order to enroll today. The office, and of course, the program explanation. Now, a lot of people think the program explanation or asking for the money is such a big deal. It's the smallest piece of the puzzle. If I did this other stuff right, you know, there's a saying out there that says cost is always a concern until value is understood. So what I want to do as a big picture item is I'm going to help you realize that this is the right place. It's safe. It's clean. I'm the guy for you. But then we're going to uncover what it is you need and want for your child. And every parent has the child that they currently have, and then they have the child that they wish they had. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't love their child, but what it means is they want more for their child. Okay? The kid they have is not the kid they want, or they wouldn't be coming to see you. Very rarely do you get the kid in your academy, if ever, that's a straight A student, that's super athletic, and what else? And earning an Eagle Scout. That's not the kid you sign up 99.9% of the time. Who's the kid you get? The kid that's uncoordinated, couldn't play soccer, got laughed out of baseball and basketball, struggling in school, maybe academically, maybe socially, misbehaving at home. I mean, not very athletic. Those are typically the kids that are attracted to martial arts. And there's exceptions, yes, of course. But the bulk of the kids you sign up need our help. Would you agree? It's true. Now, and the good news is martial arts really does help. I mean, it's the best thing any parent could ever do to invest in their child, hands down. I totally believe that. But since we know that the kid they want isn't the kid they've got, or the kid they've got isn't the kid they want, it doesn't mean they don't want their kid. It means they want more for their child than what they currently have. And I think any of you guys that are parents on the call, I'm sure you believe the same way about your kid. I do. I think my kids are perfect. However, I still want more for them. Right? And I think every parent out there is like that. At least I'd like to think they are. So we have to find out where's the wound or where's the weakness in their child through the PA. At which point now we can open that wound up a little bit and make it more real, more in the forefront. And now I can show you how we can help with that. Because parents don't come in for their kids to learn self-defense that often. Most kids today are not getting in fist fights. They might be getting in fights on Instagram, but they're not getting into fist fights. So self-defense is good to have, but it's not the primary driver. Most parents come in because they want their kid to find a place where he's accepted because he couldn't play sports, or they want their kid to have better confidence. I heard something the other day I thought was really good. And that was that every kid out there needs either focus or confidence. Those are the two big selling points. And the reason is because every kid out there is either shy or crazy. I thought, oh, that's great. I'm gonna use that. Every kid, every parent wants focus or confidence because the shy ones need confidence and the crazies need focus. It applies to all of them. So, you know, that's what we sell. If you guys didn't already know that, I'm sure you did. That's what we sell. So we've got to find out what's the problem, how's it affecting them, what would they like it to be. Now watch this. And my 10-minute intro lesson is going to be to demonstrate what it is you just told me you need in your child's life so that you can make a buying decision today, because this is an emotional purchase. It does not make sense for a parent to sign their kid up in martial arts. It's an emotional buy. So we use a thing called the PA. I'll share that with you guys too. Let's see here. Let me show this to you, and then we'll go back to the other one. But let's see, where's my PA? I should have had, oh, here we go. I got it. All right. I was going to say I should have had this ready ahead of time. I apologize I didn't, but here it is now. Screen share and bam. All right. Looks kind of funky the way it's laid out on here, but oh, I see. Okay. So they fill in their name, date, information, they sign, and then they fill out this questionnaire. Now, some of you guys have a problem. Almost every karate school I've seen out there has a version of the PA that's been bastardized a half a dozen times from back in early 2000. And I would imagine half the people on this call probably have something that's got mass training fingerprints on it. But this is the newest, most improved version right here. And you can see on here, zoom in a little bit more, circle the number one reason that best describes why you came in today for your shot: discipline, confidence, focus. Now, you notice self-defense, fitness, and fun, they're not on there. Why? Because I can't sell that very easily. Now, will they get that? Absolutely. But what do they need? Why is this most important? How will your life improve if your child has these things? You're asking some pretty deep questions straight away. In fact, I've even had moms like, ooh, these are pretty deep questions. I know. Let's go ahead and fill them out thoughtfully. How long do you think this will take to accomplish on your own? Oh, you should see the answers. How long have you wanted this? Forever. All I'm doing is I'm getting inside their head and reaffirming, hey, this might be exactly what I've wanted forever. I didn't even think about it because I thought it was going to be a silly activity. I just realized this might be real. Will you be in the area for next year or so? Standard. What school does your child go to? Standard. How well do they do? Are they involved in any other activities? This is important when we come to scheduling. Are there any health concerns? And here's the granddaddy of them all. If approved for membership, will you be able to make the decision to get started today? Oh, pre-frame everything. And this is a big step. So let's go back to this other one. Must have been too much for them. Here we go. So this is part of the greeting at the front counter. When they come in, we are going to greet them with a bow. I want to knock them back on their heels, knock their socks off. I want someone to come in. I don't want them to think this is yet another activity. This is not personal training. Personal training even is relatively cheap, even the good ones compared to what we do. So when they come in, we're going to snap to attention and bow. I want to greet you unlike anything you've ever had in your life. I say, hey, you must be Mrs. Smith. My name is Jonathan Peschke. Students call me Master Peschke, and it is my pleasure to meet you today. Come on in. Shake their hand. Make them feel warm and welcome. Step 2, we're going to take them on a tour where they're going to learn how to enter the academy. We're going to teach them how to enter the academy. Every time we come into the school, we're going to put our feet together, hands at our side, and we're going to bow. We're going to say, hello, sir, hello, ma'am, to get ourselves in the right state of mind to begin our martial art practice and to show respect and courtesy for everyone in the building. Here, I'll go first. Mom and Dad, you go next, because you know our kids learn more from our actions than our words. So we always try to do our best to lead by example. Okay? All right. So I'll go. Parents go. Timmy, you go next. Great. Then we'll show now the layout of your school will determine the order of these activities. Like we don't go to the practice floor next. The next thing we do is we go to the announcement board and let them know how they'll always be able to stay plugged in, and also through our VIP group on Facebook, and also that we email out. We have a weekly update that we email to everybody. Years and years ago, I had parents that would say, well, I didn't know. And they'd point the finger at me because they didn't know. At which point, I helped them realize, I decided that will never be able to happen again. I will make sure they can never make it my fault that they didn't know. So we do class announcements. We have our announcement board. Everything's posted in our VIP group. And then we email a weekly update. And we have an annual calendar. And that's also in the VIP group. You will never tell me you did not know. You will know. Now, if you don't participate, you didn't know. If you don't do it, that's on you. And I'm not going to be mad about it. It just won't be my fault. Then we're going to go over to the, as we go to the card rack, we're going to do what's called a schedule concession. Write that down. Schedule concession. It is vital to enrolling people. The announcement board is not vital, but it's a perk. It's a benefit. However, schedule concession, that's vital. Now, Mrs. Smith, our schedule is quite flexible, and the great news is most families are able to find time to come to class 1 to 2 days a week. Will you be able to do that for your family? She either says yes, great, close that door. Or she says, well, I don't know, it depends on when the classes are. Or she says, well, when are the classes? Oh, don't worry, we have a flexible class schedule. We'll go over everything at the end of our first lesson today. I'm not going to answer it right now, but I'm going to address it right now to help you see. When we go to enroll somebody, the potential objections that do always come up, if they come up, they come up at the end. I want to start talking about them sooner so they can work through it in their mind before we get to it later. Because if let's say the money, if when I ask for the money, that's the first time we've talked about the money, it's too late. You have nowhere else to go. So I'll get deeper into that a little bit later here. But I want to do a schedule concession. Mrs. Smith, just to let you know, most of our families are able to attend class 1 to 2 days a week. Will you be able to do that for your family? Oh, yeah, that should be fine. Depends on when the classes are. Oh, don't worry. We'll go over all the schedule after we do your first lesson today. Okay, cool. I just want them comfortable with the idea that they're going to come to class 1 to 2 days a week. Now, I'd like everyone to come 2 or 3 times a week. But again, what they want may not be in alignment yet. So let me make it easy for them to get started, and then we'll ramp up the relationship as we go. And the reason why I want to say 1 to 2 times a week is I don't want anyone to ever use that as a reason not to enroll. You've all had it. Well, would it be cheaper if I only came 1 time a week? True or false? Don't have a very interactive crew today. Okay, well, that's okay. You won't hurt my feelings. Everyone's heard it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Everyone's heard it. Well, yeah, but I can't come 2 days a week. That doesn't happen too often. But once in a while, they go, well, how much is it if I only come 1 day a week? I've eliminated that from ever. I haven't heard that in years because we let them know the tuition is for 1 to 2 times per week to begin. So we do our schedule concession. We go to the card rack. We talk about attendance and rank, and how one of the great things about our academy is that we help students stay focused and on track, achieving their goals. And we help with, not hold them, but we help with accountability to best help them achieve those goals. So we use as you can see, one of these, pull out an attendance card. Every 4th lesson, a student earns a stripe. Every 4th stripe, a student progresses in rank. Our goal is for every student in here to one day earn the prestigious rank of black belt. It's fantastic, and you're going to love it. So let's see. Now, next thing is we want to talk about now that I've talked about the goal setting, I'm going to let you know I'm going to do what's called a price drop. Price drop is also vital. Write that down. You need to do a price drop. Like I mentioned earlier, if the first time I'm talking about the money is when I ask for it, you just made your job 10 times harder. I want them thinking about why it's worth this as we're doing it. I want their brain to go to work justifying it. For example, a couple of years ago, I bought a giant TV. And when I decided I wanted to buy the TV, I thought, well, let me see which one's the best. And I started shopping around. I started looking at it, and I went to Best Buy. And then I saw the price tag. I was like, whoa, okay. Let me think about this some more. I didn't buy that day. I wasn't ready. And so then I did some more research, some more homework, shopped around some more, and realized, okay, I guess that is the best price for that. And I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I need that to all happen inside of a 45-minute window to get the enrollment. The guy that tried to sell me the TV on day 1 was unsuccessful because I wasn't properly prepared and I didn't have time to justify it. Let's give him plenty of time. So what I want to do is now that we do the card rack, the next step is I want to let them know, now, Mrs. Smith, based on what we've talked about so far, I just want to let you know the tuition for an entire family to train in our academy runs about $500 a month. How's that sound? Now, I know 9 times out of 10, she's probably thinking, oh, crap. I didn't know it was going to be that much. And that's good news too, because now I have her undivided full attention. Think about this, guys. If the parent is coming in, and we don't know how the parent is showing up, but if they have no previous experience and they've done other activities for their kid, they're going to put you in that category until they know otherwise. I mean, that's just human. They just automatically think, well, we did dance, we did swimming. Now we're going to do taekwondo or karate or krav or whatever we're doing. So I paid, $80 a month for whatever it was. I paid $50 for baseball. This will probably be about the same. It's not, right? So I don't want to surprise them at the end. I want to let them know early on. And you do it using a price drop. Mrs. Smith, one of the great things about it, if you charge $180 a month, well, the family is going to be $360. Mrs. Smith, I want to let you know, based on what we've covered so far, an entire family can train together for about $360 a month. How's that sound? And let her have her whatever she's going to have. Now, most of the time, here's what you get. Okay. But now they're paying attention. Sometimes you get one time, that's pretty cheap. That shocked me. And but I think more often than not, you get okay, and they're having a conversation in their brain, but now they're paying attention closer to figure out, why is it worth this? And once in a while, you'll get someone that goes, well, that's kind of a lot. Oh, don't worry. We'll go over all the details and the different programs that we have to offer after we complete our first lesson today. Come with me. And you just keep on rolling. Again, even if they show any sign of anything, I want to put them at ease that we're going to talk about that after we do our first lesson today. Even if they go, oh, that sounds okay. Perfect. We'll go over the details when we finish our first lesson today. Well, that's really cheap. Great. We'll go over the details when we finish our first lesson. Oh, that's a lot of money. Don't worry. We'll go over all the details when we finish our first lesson today. My answer is the same. But you got to do a price drop. If you don't do a price drop, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. So, then we're going to do an introduction to either to the instructor or about the instructor, or if you're one and the same, about you and your school. But I want to give them an overview so they don't think that you're just some knucklehead drug off the street. I want to let them realize you've invested time, energy, and training into what you are in order to make yourself the authority on this, right? Next, we're going to do the PA, which is what we went over a few minutes ago. Then we're going to do the orientation lesson. Now, the PA, if they say, for example, my kid needs better confidence. And again, this thing is, how many pages long is this thing? This thing's huge. Anything you could possibly wonder, or I mean, it's everything is in here and how to deal with it and how to address it and how to present it. Because the truth is, of schools that follow this protocol will convert at a minimum 50%. And some will go, well, I signed up everybody anyway. Okay, well, that tells me you enroll like 3 people a month. I'm not impressed. I'm talking about people that enrolling people in volume. And the ones that get really good at this dialogue, they're enrolling 75, 80% like clockwork. And the best part is they're collecting real money. So I know right now, one thing that's real popular is that, give them a value stack where they signed up for a 2-week or 4-week trial, but if you convert that to a monthly trial program, then you can pay us in a month, but let me give you all this stuff now. So you're essentially buying students. And the bad news is 30% of those people will never make their first installment. Maybe you're an exception if that's you, but statistically, that's exactly what happens. Whereas if you follow this enrollment procedure, you'll find on average, you'll collect $500 to $600 on their very first visit without giving them any physical stuff except for maybe a uniform. Okay, so on the tour, we're going to tell them to begin. Let me explain what we'll be doing together. Again, pre-framing. First, I'm going to show you around the academy. We'll meet some of the other staff and sit down together and find out exactly what you want your child to learn from our program. And of course, take our first lesson together. After the lesson, if you love our program as much as I know you will, I'll explain the membership and how you can use your trial to actually save money by enrolling today. So for now, let me teach you how we're going to enter and leave the academy. Here, come with me. We'll walk over the front door. Okay. And again, you don't have to say exactly what's on the page. This is a dialogue to follow to convey the right feelings in them to want to make that purchase today. Make sense? So let's see. So at our first black belt lesson is courtesy. For courtesy to work, it must be used. And as a student in our academy, when an instructor asks you to do something and you understand it, you must answer yes, sir, or no, sir. Let's practice that. Are you ready to start learning martial arts today? Point to your ear. Yes, sir. Perfect. And we even teach the parents how to interact. Mrs. Smith, now that you guys are new students, this is how our relationship will work. Students call me Master Peshke, and I will always address you as Mrs. Smith. This is the respectful etiquette that's practiced in martial arts to ensure there's never any misunderstanding about how our relationship will work and how we work together. This is an exchange of courtesy and respect, and it's a great example for Timmy to learn from. Mrs. Smith, do I have your support? She's going to say yes, guys. They all say yes. And what you're doing, here's what you're doing. If you can see me right now, here's what you're doing. They signed up on a 2-week trial where they thought, I'm going to give this guy some money to teach my kid. And they think the relationship is like this. And as we start to go through this tour and orientation, they start to realize, oh, this is more than I thought. Maybe the relationship is more like this. I like this guy. And by the time we're done with this tour and orientation, they're going to realize, oh, the relationship is like this. And he's giving me a chance to be a part of it. This is going to be fantastic. In other words, where do I sign? Thank you. Because I'm not chasing you trying to get your money, ever, ever. I'm deciding if I want to invite you to be a part of this community that we've built. And if you do a good job and you are compliant with what I ask you to do, well, then we'll invite you to join us and be a part of it. We will give you the opportunity to be a part of this amazing community. You guys with me on this? It's a big deal. One is a very broke mentality. One is what's the term I'm trying to think of? One is a scarcity mindset. and one is I guess you'd call it an abundance mindset. I know there's plenty of people to enroll. In fact, I don't even have to enroll them all. I just got to enroll the ones that are going to be a good fit for what it is we're trying to build here. And if you begin with the end in mind, to quote, I think it's Stephen Covey, what do I want this to be like when it's full grown? Let's do everything starting right now that feeds that. I was on a call this morning, and the gentleman goes, well, I don't know about this whole schedule compression thing because we got some kids that are only 3 and 4, and I got one kid we just signed up that's only 2 years old. I was like, well, that might have been a mistake. And he goes, why? And I said, well, do you want 32-year-olds in your program? He's like, oh no, that'd be awful. Then why would you enroll even one? See, that tells me you're chasing the dollars. That tells me that you're begging for enrollments. That tells me that you're desperate and you have this scarcity mindset where you got to do something special for them, because what if no one else even shows up? Well, that's why if you guys don't have your Facebook and Instagram marketing dialed in yet, go revisit the training that we give away for free and get it up and running. You will have leads coming into your inbox every single day. Every day, which will help to diminish the scarcity mindset of, oh no, but what, I got to sign them up. I need that $100. Skip that. Let's build a business that will flourish and thrive. So let's see. It looks like Roman just dropped the link in the chat. Excuse me. And okay. And okay, Mr. Brown, I'll talk to you after the call here, sir. No worries. But yeah, if you guys want to get more detailed training, that's what we do. That's what we do. We take schools. I don't know if you've seen any of our stuff. Up until last year, 100% of our clients have always been word of mouth, and they've thrived. However, maybe 6-8 months ago, we thought, you know what, there's a lot of school owners out there that could use this kind of help. Let's see if we can't help more people. And we started doing some marketing. And one of this, there's 3 distinct groups that we help. One is the startup, or one of them is the guy that's making less than 10 grand a month. And it could be someone who just wants to start, or maybe someone who just did start, or someone that never really got out of the starting blocks to begin with. That happens too. And that's and all of us, I think, started because we love martial arts. And unless we really get a strong business education, that's all it ever is a passion project, and you're the starving artist forever. And that's just not fun. We have one of the only careers where a person will invest years of time and energy and money into something and never get paid for it. Or they'll do it for 20, 30 years and they're still at the same level as when they began. I mean, there's very few industries out there that are like that, and we've embraced it. So one of my ambitions is to help people realize, look, you've invested time, energy, and money into your craft, just like any doctor would. Why aren't you being rewarded in the same? I mean, I don't do it only for the money, but if you do it right, the money shows up. I do it. What got me into this was 3 things. I could do something I loved, I could positively impact other people's lives, and I could make a lot of money doing the first 2. Fantastic. That's the trifecta. Where do I sign? And to be honest, when I first started doing this, I thought, because my instructor goes, you might be pretty good at this. And if you do it right, you get to do what you love. You get to help other people, and you can make a lot of money. And I thought, ooh, now I'm interested, because I never wanted to be broke. And I loved martial arts, and I've always loved people. If I can marry all 3 of those together, sounds like a win. But I was still unsure because I was young and dumb. But in my mind, I thought, well, I'm young enough where I can try it for a few years. And if it works out, great. And if not, I'll do something else. I will not be broke forever. And that was like 32 years ago, guys. It's been magnificent. I cannot imagine doing anything different. So, if that sounds like you, we've done everything wrong a dozen times, and now we've got to figure it out, and we've been able to prove it again and again and again. if you simply take the tools that we provide, engage in the training that we provide, and take action and just maintain an open mind, oh my gosh, things change fast. Things change fast. So we're almost out of time. I didn't get through that whole thing, but I gave you guys a start. We can continue on that next week. But if you guys want to share, let's at least have our Mr. Brown and Master Gartland here. Master Gartland, let's start with you. Let's just one takeaway from today's call, if you would, please. And actually, we got 3 of you guys on here because we got Mr. Jefferson as well. Let's start with Mr. Garland, though. Master Garland, what's one takeaway from today?
The enrollment procedure, how everything feeds into each other
Yeah.
and sort of closes doors on giving them the opportunity to not enroll.
Mhm.
So it sort of closes those doors of escape.
Yeah. I want to, all the reasons that you could give me to not enroll at the end, I've got to address in the beginning as we go so that they're never brought up again at the end.
Yes.
I don't want someone like the price drop. Well, I didn't know it was going to be that much. That's my fault. That's not their fault. That's my fault. Well, I didn't know I was going to have to come to class 2 days a week. My fault. Any reason that they don't enroll, not any reason, but most of the reasons that they give for not being able to enroll, we could have addressed earlier and closed that door on them. Well, my husband's not here. That's your fault. That means you didn't address it on the phone call. What else? What else? So, I mean, you really again, it goes back to, let's start with the end and then work backwards. That's what we do in our rank system. I want you to get to black belt. What do we have to do to reach that? We've got to get these other belts, and we've got to maybe get stripes on those, and we've got to get to class. Work it backwards.
And the 1 to 2 times a week is really, because I hear that quite often.
Mm-hmm. Easy fix.
Yeah.
Say something different.
I won't hear it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
Now I got the tool to fix it.
Our program and our tuition is based on students coming to class 1 to 2 days a week, but we'll go over all the details after we finish our first lesson today. It's really easy, but it's just stuff that we don't think about until all of a sudden you hear it and you're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Mr. Jefferson, what's your takeaway for today, sir?
I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of Master Garland. It was really about the procedures and how to word it in a certain way to, like you were saying, like to close certain doors. Things we may say, we may not say, but we know what to say every time, just to close off all objections.
Yeah, I want to eliminate objections. And if I can eliminate them before they come up, even better. It's like, think about sparring. If you get caught with a spin hook kick, after about the 3rd time, you kind of think, maybe I need to learn how to see this thing coming. I'm tired of getting hit with that.
Exactly.
It's the same thing, guys. It's the same, but we don't ever think about it like that. We just got to change the way we think a little bit. And again, maintain open mind. All right, Mr. Brown, what are we taking away for today, sir?
Well, I'm very excited about seeing the entire 7-step enrollment because, as I kind of alluded to on the chat, I've got the one that's like 4 pages that has everything, just nothing lined out like you showed. I'm very excited about starting that because I think that will definitely help with my tactics from that point on.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I've got to do is overcome the Spanish barrier because like 98% of my people that are applying for the 2 weeks are Spanish speakers.
Oh my goodness.
So
okay.
I have to get one of my students to, can you please translate this for me?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's great. Well, and to kind of, this dialogue, we used to call it a script, but then people were so hung up on having exact word for word. You don't have to have it word for word. You got to get the overall meaning and feeling of it. As a matter of fact, there's a website out there, or you probably find on YouTube, where there's a movie script and it scrolls through the movie script alongside the characters, the actual movie, and it's not verbatim. Why? Because actors will learn the script and then make it their own so they can become the character. So it's not that you have to say each word exactly the way it is, but you got to learn the dialogue to follow. It's like having GPS in your car. It helps you make sure you arrive at your destination. Even if you make a left turn when you should have made a right, what does it do? It loops you back around and gets you back on track. That's what knowing the dialogue does. It keeps you on track. So you say the right, and that dialogue has a lot of what's called NLP throughout. And for you guys that aren't familiar, if you're not familiar with NLP, it stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. And it is understanding how to communicate with someone to, I guess in a nutshell, to have better influence, to be more impactful. Because again, this is an emotional purchase. And if I can help uncover the emotions behind what it is you want for your child, it amplifies them. And when you realize, and I'm not going to tell you I can do something I can't do, but if you need your kid, I know your kid's either what? Shy or crazy. I can help with that. Now, I'm not going to promise I can fix it, but I can help with it. You bring your kid to 300 lessons with me, he's going to be better off. He's going to be a better person. And I'm not here to fix your kid. I'm here to provide that third-party influence, that support to help you have a better child. And and it really does come down to having the right conversations. Because in the intro lesson, our actual physical lesson is only 10 minutes long. And it's kind of like when you go to the ice cream shop and you say, ooh, I want to try the mint chip. They don't give you a giant scoop. They give you a little tiny taster. And if it tastes good, you're like, oh yeah, I want more. That's what the intro lesson is. The intro lesson is a taster. You want confidence? Let me help demonstrate how I'm going to teach your child confidence through my lesson. And as you see it, you're in the lesson too. The parents have to be on the floor. That's in there. The parents have to be on the floor doing the lesson. And as they do that, I'm connecting with the mom about her child. I'm not down on one knee making a level eye contact with the kid. And I know that was a big popular thing for a while. It's ridiculous. No kid's ever going to give you a credit card. I got to connect with the client. The client is the mom. Connect with the client about the student, and your life gets easier, and you will have a bigger impact. So again, I appreciate you guys being on the call and maintaining some open-mindedness. A big portion of what we do is simply how you think about it. And that's something that nobody's talking about. It's not about the tough guy stuff. That's fun. It's a lot of fun, but that's not what sells memberships. All right. So any of you guys that are not currently on our roster of clients and want to find out more or want to do a one-on-one question about anything, the link is in the chat. Feel free to click it, pick a time, and I will be there. And for you guys that are clients, I'll see you on your next call. And let's see. And Mr. Brown, hang out just a quick minute here when everyone gets off, and I got a couple things for you. Okay, sir?
Can do.
In the meantime, guys, go get them. Have a great day. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. All right, everyone have a wonderful day.
Peter, everybody.
Bye, everybody.